rendition.
The Deek and Carla live talking about dating from the pokey. So we can't get the real rendition.
Yes.
But we need a theme song because now I think there's one person watching, but I'm not good at, because people have said to me, do you see me there? I'm not good at singing. Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome. It's great to see you again.
I would like to announce that, because I'm fascinated by this with you and me, this is probably my worst time of day. I'm not proud of that. What time is it? It's 6:22, 7:22 Eastern. It's like, because I get up early, that's it. I mean, I need a snack. I need to plan my snacks better. But this is like my worst time of day, and it's ramping up to your best.
Yeah, this is like my best, like it's like a passing in the night of the baton, except it's afternoon.
That always fascinates me because, yeah, we're so different in that. Like, I am, okay, I can do it. You're like, this is your energy time.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you've proposed a couple of times something in a morning hour, and I'm like, super. I'm often up in the morning, but
noon, that is a little early, but might be able to make it happen.
I can maybe put it together. 2 coffees and
Okay, I know we had talked about what we were going to talk about today, because the don't say it, pre-play. Before play, what can I do?
But I slipped up and said the B. I think that's what did you. I don't think you. I like it though. You said the pre-game, because like I have this. We're on the tailgate, just.
That's it. That's what we do. So we use all our best jokes at the before play. Next time I'm bringing snacks, because I think it's a need for. So at the before play, now I can't remember where I was going with that. Talking about getting off the app. So today we're not going to be thinking about the apps, but what you said about maybe putting yourself out there in the world.
Yeah, are you putting yourself in the places that are likely to be filled up with people that have like interest or something to that effect?
Okay, let me play devil's advocate, because I hear this all the time, and I'm curious your thoughts. And I thought it before myself. I am not. Hear me now. I am not one who ever really gets. I want to say hit upon, but I feel like hit on. I feel like that's an old-fashioned word, in the wild. So I think it may be a vibe you put out as well. But how do you know at our age, anywhere from, let's say, 45 to 70, if someone's single? Because not everybody wears rings. And so that's something people mention to me a lot, that, okay, I'm out in the world. How do I know?
I do not have an answer for that.
I mean, I think on some level, you've got to just keep showing up, and showing up doing things you enjoy, and showing up as yourself. Like, yes, showing up doing things you enjoy and putting yourself out there.
Yeah, I think that's very much a key thing, is just to keep being, we were talking about, putting yourself in a place, like maybe it's something, there's some activity you're interested in. It could be, yoga or photography or any number. I don't even know if meetups are still a thing, but
they are. I was actually looking at that, just thinking I would like to make more female friends outside of my neighborhood meetup.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a part of that kind of speaks to the intentionality that we talked about last week about, for me, I was like, hey, I'm kind of in a relatively new city to me. I would like to meet some musicians, and then kind of set an intention around that. And minutes later, it seems like I'm sitting next to musicians at a restaurant. So there's kind of that,
Do you believe in manifesting? I mean, there are various facets of this we can talk about down the road, but do you think that that's why that happened with the musicians? Like, you made that happen through your mindset, through your words?
I do. I actually do believe that it's, I could say that and then sit here at home, and then it makes it a little more difficult, I mean, unless a musician comes crashing through the window and says, hey, what's up? Oh man, you have guitars, or that kind of thing. Yeah. So Yeah, I think it's showing up. You know, it could be dating apps, but it could be uh, Facebook groups. It could be any number of things where you interact with people that are likely to be. It's real simple uh, in my mind. It's real simple to think, oh well, you know, the dating pool here just isn't great, you know, or whatever. And
Yeah.
that could be the case, you know. I think maybe when you start getting more rural and more smaller
Yeah.
populations,
Yeah.
you know, then maybe farmers only is your is your way forward.
But we
But you
cannot
know,
theme song because
I,
we do not want to get sued.
yes, we can't. The um, yeah, it would be real easy. The metro area I live in is, I'm gonna guess, 1.5 million people. So if you look at population, it's probably maybe not as abysmal as it might look on the, you know, look on a dating app or anything like that. So, and there is something to be said for, maybe there are places geographically that resonate more the type of
Yeah.
people you're interested in.
Yeah.
So,
Yes. And I mean, I know my big thing is consistency, comma. However, I found that works with meeting people as well. Like if I go to Epoch the same time every day with my laptop working remotely, you're going to start to build rapport with the other people who show up at the same time every day, that kind of thing. So it really is, one offs are tough, whether it's one off at a meetup or one off going and working at Starbucks. But when you show up at the same place consistently, you might not meet your beloved there, but you don't know who has a friend who has a friend.
yeah, it's I a friend of mine relayed this story about one of her friends just this in the last week, where he was at a coffee shop and he noticed this attractive woman sitting there, and they kind of, you know, looked at each other several times, and then uh, somewhere along the line, what he believed to be a date showed up, and that date was not going well, and
Funny.
he thought, man, I really just want to say something to her. And so uh, he he got his coffee and he walked by and he said, hey, it was so great to see you again. I'll see you at yoga or something, you know, whatever it was, and gave her a hug while she's on this
Well,
date.
still on the date.
And which I loved. It was bold. Like, I loved the boldness of it. um but then, like, as the story was recounted to me, like, he went back to the same coffee shop around the same time several times to try to get that, some
And
consistency around that.
did
So
he go out with her?
I don't know if he's gone out with her, but I believe they actually matched on a dating site. So, to be continued. I'll have to dig into that story. We want to win story out of this.
Yes. And okay, so what you're saying, I mean, this is a little bit of our very special episode, All Over the Map show. However, going to the same place, seeing people consistently, and then it's interesting that you say that about then seeing them on the dating app. That's, I mean, I used to back in the day, 2017. I'm embarrassed to admit this, but it's a good tip. So I'm going to take one for the team. I would be on multiple dating apps for free, like Bumble, and I think back then it was Bumble and Tinder, because you would see the same people, write this down, on all the apps, and you would get a more complete sense of who they were. So on Bumble, they might have, this facet of their personality or interest. Tinder would be different. And I loved that because I would get a more full sense of who the people were. I don't know if
Yeah,
that
I
makes
think
sense.
it does, and it actually points back to something you and I've talked about pretty consistently, is dating as a series of experiments,
Yep, yep.
which I think is such a valuable mindset to have a theory or something that you think you're interested in, and then run the experiments and see how they go. And so maybe back in that time frame, uh, I believe it was those same two apps that I had profiles on, and I had wildly different
Okay. That's an
um,
interesting insight. Keep going.
profiles written, because I was running the experiment, what gets responses,
It's
you
A
know.
B testing for marketing. Yes, I know exactly what you mean.
Yes, AB. I learned that in business school.
There you go.
um,
That's really, that's an interesting perspective. So what happened?
it was fascinating. On one of them, I had uh, kind of a metaphorical profile. It was like, I can't remember, something about having a garden, and it was this, like there's sunshine and these great things here, and I'm considering moving on from, perennials. Maybe I'm not a gardener. I can't even keep. I've got a plant back here that's not even doing very well, and it's a succulent. So, but it was kind of like that. Hey, I'm thinking about moving on from these little, die off in 2 week plants to the allegedly year round plants.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that. And for me, that was a good one because you get a lot of, what does that even mean? It was a pretty cleverly written, whatever. And so it kind of would speak to do you have some sort of, or are we have some sort of connection on being able to interact on that? And then my other one was something like, my name's Deek. And so it was something like, my name isn't Bob, or I'm no Bob, Steve, Joe. Nothing against anybody named that, but I'm no one of these things. There are pros and cons to that, and it was just funny to me. And that one actually generated quite a few responses, like, oh my gosh, that's great. My name is, whatever, Zeus.
Really interesting because it never occurred to me, and we are not the experts for sure. We're just like 3 steps down the path. Never occurred to me that that's interesting that it was deliberate. And I mean, I've thought of tailoring what you put out there in the world to the app, but that's interesting. Like, because I'm the marketer at heart, that A/B testing is interesting to see what lands, because only then can you, from the data, iterate and change.
Yeah, and I felt like, and of course, there's no way. The thing about a dating app is there's no way to prove a negative. So you can have a theory about something.
Right.
So my theory was that it was filtering out the people that I wanted to filter out, but I can't prove that, But I felt good about it. I felt smart about it.
Yes, and I think you're probably right that people that didn't get your humor, would swipe left.
Yeah, we just save some time, so I don't have to crack off some weird joke and get the blank face emoji in return.
Yes.
So,
okay, so where are you going to commit? Where are you going to commit to keep showing up so you open yourself up to maybe meeting someone? And then I have a follow-up question for you if this exists where you live. So answer that first.
I think for me is I've been here for a while now, and I've just last week I met some musicians when I set that intention, and it turned out one of them was in a band playing a show at a venue I've wanted to go to, but haven't really. It was unknown to me and didn't, a little foreign, and so I actually went to a whole series of shows. It's kind of a cool Austin type room, so I had some nostalgia around that, and then it just so happened one of the bands that played on the bill was from Austin, so I was having all sorts of nostalgia for, not enough to move back to Austin, but I was having Austin nostalgia. And so I think for me it's staying with that particular inquiry, because it's putting me in a place and environments that I enjoy being in, and things that I enjoy doing. So it kind of relates to that, so to speak.
And it's almost too easy. I mean, that's not to execute, but that really should be the answer. It gets harder as we get a little bit older and more people are married, but it should be as simple as do what you love, volunteer, yoga, music, whatever it is, and you'll make connections that like to do the same thing, but it can feel harder in the dating world.
Yeah, I really still think that if you bring the intentionality to it, and you keep showing up, like for me, there's things, you and I have a shared love of coffee, and so just over me consistently showing up, in places and being open to connections. For instance, just in the last maybe 6 months, I've met the owner of a coffee shop here locally that I love their mission. And then I've met another owner of a coffee shop and roaster who I actually loved his product before I met him. And so, it's just putting yourself in the places and just being receptive to what opens up.
Is that, I mean, I love how many times you have said consistently since we've gone live, because it's so true. It's just returning. I mean, I know this to be true. I remember when I was doing social media back in the day when it was called Twitter, and people would say, how do I build up a following? And of course, now it's more difficult on X, I'm sure. But I was like, it's a village. You just keep showing up every day around the same time and you'll see all the same people. So I love that. And something you said, and this is a tough one to explain because it's a physicality, but we know it about ourselves. It's showing up with that, I just want to say open vibe. We know when people are open to being engaged in conversation. You're really good at showing up as open and making the overtures. But if we don't have the confidence, because it feels awkward, to make the first overture, how we're carrying ourselves, how we're sitting in the room, people know if we're open. So it's that dual commitment of showing up and really it's vulnerable. But
yeah, it's so fascinating you bring that up because that's something that I've been really paying close attention to lately is what level of energy, where's this person at energetically in terms of, are they open or closed off? And so I'm super curious about, I hear a lot of complaints about, well, I go out and nobody approaches me and no
yes.
And so I'm super curious, like, are you in an open energy? Because if you're staring at your phone and, not
Just all the body language.
Yes. Yeah. So I think that's maybe a key component of that, showing up someplace consistently or in the places that you like to be, and having that open mind or open heart to what
really is not. Yeah.
What shows up. And then, in fact, it sounds, I mean, honestly, somewhere along the way, we went from being feral, you used to go meet somebody over the leeks at Whole Foods,
Yep. Oh, and yes. But I do think it's it's going to the same places, looking approachable. I mean, it sounds silly. And for me right now, like I said, with the meetups, I mean, I've been here for 26 years, really 24, because it was -2 in the middle. And so I have the same group of friends that I've had for a really long time. And so I'm open to meeting women friends. And so but that feels almost as vulnerable as dating. Like we're at Epoch, because family, I don't go anywhere else but my couch. And that's striking up a conversation with a stranger, but it's putting yourself out there.
Well, and that's too, like, I'm relatively new here and I do have some friends and family, but I don't have an extensive network, and some of them are married and not as available. So I have been like looking at what my social circle is. And so I've had to be, I don't know if I've had to be, but I have been intentional about meeting just new friends and whatever that looks like. And so I think it's just the same thing, just with an eye towards dating.
It is. Okay, I'm going to shake it up. I'm not going to go to Epoch. I'll report back next week. I don't know where it's going to be, but it's that, okay, because it's luck of putting yourself out in the world, and I'm going to commit to that. Just going somewhere new and starting to do it consistently.
Oh, I love it.
And I will report back. And we will see you again at 6, which is not my best time, but your best time.
Yes. All right.
See you in a week.
All right. Great being with you. Bye.